Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. So no riding yet. I won't be able to ride for at least another month. So I kind of want to give an update on the operation. So the videos that I've been putting out, which I recorded before the operation, so I at least had some content. Kind of don't have any content left. I still have something on my GoPro, but it's like content that I never really wanted to put out because it wasn't good enough for my opinion. I didn't really do too much in that. So maybe I will go to edit that and see if I can use any of it for this video. But for now, I want to give you an update on the operation, how it's been going. So I had the operation, I think it's now about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks. And well, pretty much I had the operation, and then kind of scary as well. I wasn't really ready for it. So you pretty much go to sleep and you wake up, and it's not a big deal. But still, the moment I went to sleep, I don't know, for some reason I was thinking, this could be the end. I don't know why. So, if you have that mindset before you go into an operation, it's not a good mindset. So, anyway, everything was fine. I came out, everything seemed to be okay. The next day I could actually go back home, so that was good. So, 1 week later, maybe it was too fast, I don't know, but the doctor kind of told me, yeah, if you feel good enough, you can go back to work. So I didn't really explain what kind of work I was doing. So my work involves a lot of working with the hands and sometimes also a little bit of lifting. So I didn't say anything. I was at work first day, no biggie. Sometimes it did hurt a little bit, and I'm like, I just calm down a little bit and then I make the pain go away, and it actually went away. Second day, however, I lifted something, I don't know, but I was like working, and then whole shit went down. So I don't know, something must have happened down there, but it was just pouring blood out like non-stop. It started from 9 in the morning. I just kept pouring blood out, and my whole pants was soaking wet red. I never seen a jeans, a normal blue jeans, like all the way covered in blood. And I was getting really lightheaded, so I went to my boss like, I think I need to go back to the hospital. They were like, oh, you can first go and call your doctor. Even though if you look at the situation right there, it should have been right away to the hospital, even maybe emergency line. But anyway, I did what they asked, and I went to call my doctor. Of course, with the corona thing going on, I couldn't actually get through the doctor, and when I finally got through, the assistant was like, yeah, I'm gonna look it up real quick, if you can wait. She must have accidentally hanged up, because then I didn't have a line anymore, and I had to call back again. And then my boss was like, all right, we are just gonna bring you back, we're just gonna bring you to the hospital, because this is not good. So yeah, I just poured blood everywhere. It was a mess. It was a mess. So it's kind of my own fault. Maybe I went too early into work. I don't know. I just really feel really bad when I'm at home and other people are working. I don't know. It doesn't feel good for me. I really want to work. So for me, it makes sense if I work from Monday to Friday and then ride in the weekends and also after work. So this is a really shitty situation for me because it doesn't make much sense. So anyway, I'm still bleeding. I'm coming to the hospital. We of course went into the normal line where all the people were waiting, and still I was waiting there, bleeding non-stop. And finally we were in the front of the line, so I went to this woman and she was like, I'm like, do you have an appointment? I'm like, I keep on bleeding and it doesn't stop, and I had surgery before. Oh, she's like, shouldn't you be in the emergency? like the fast line, or you know, where when you call 911 or 112, they right away pick you up and bring you to like how do you say this? In Dutch it's spoed, but in English it's, I don't know. It's like the fast thing. How can I not come up with the right word for this? So she called up right away. I had to go into a wheelchair. The wheelchair brought me to like a corona check-in thing, so to make sure I wasn't infected with corona. Then I went up the elevator. I had to leave my name and stuff. Then I went into a room, with the emergency room. I had to lay down there. Still blood everywhere. Everything was soaking wet. It was just a mess. So the doctors kind of were running around getting all my information. Then they left me alone in a room. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I'm bleeding to death, and there's nobody to like. Oh, it's all gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm like laying there alone, constant blood everywhere, and then the weird thing happened. I had to pee. So okay, you have to pee. That makes sense. So I had to go in some kind of weird toilet thing, which is like a wheelchair, and then because I couldn't walk too far because I was losing way too much blood. So I'm like going on this toilet, I'm like peeing, thinking everything is fine while still losing blood, and of course, checking backwards when I'm back in my bed. The entire pee was red, dark red. It was like I didn't even have the pee, but the blood was pouring out so much that it was like coming into my bladder, or how do you say this? Bladder, yeah. So the entire bladder was just filled with blood, which I kind of pissed out. It was a mess. Okay, so I had the surgery done in another hospital, which is like in Amsterdam, and I'm like in a different location, which is like a 30-minute ride away. So I was there. The doctors here pretty much did not have enough information and stuff, and they didn't really know what surgery procedure I went through, because you have to think about when they operate on your urethra. They also have to make it nice again looking from the outside. So there was also a plastic surgery involved there to make it look better than the surgery was before. So the doctors here couldn't really help me, but they couldn't send me away either because I was losing so much blood. Then there was a little small time limit where I wasn't losing blood, and the doctor pretty much was like, oh, the bleeding has stopped, so you can now leave and go home and don't work anymore for today. I'm like, okay, is that normal that I lost so much blood and you're just sending me home? And not that because from work I left everything there. I don't have anything on me. I don't have money. I can't get a cab or anything. So they were getting me ready, okay, and they were trying to put my pants on, and the blood just poured out again. It doesn't stop. So then they had to make the choice. Well, they couldn't really send me in an ambulance to the other hospital because they were more advanced in that. Because I was bleeding, they don't want to send me into a hospital when I'm bleeding. So they kind of gave me something which was slow down the bleeding, but it's also not really good for you. Something that was on those line. But then when they done that, this is a really bloody story. If you check my Instagram, I have some clips from there, because I thought if I'm gonna die, at least I want to show what happened or something. I don't know. It's kind of emotional because I'm starting to cry. It was one of the worst days, not worst, but one of them. So then we went to the hospital I went into the ambulance, still bleeding, and going to the other hospital because they actually did the surgery and they know a lot more about it and they can help me better there. So I went there, still bleeding non-stop. They left me in that room for so long, hours waiting, bleeding. They pretty much gave me like a lot of paper which I had to hold there, but those paper just were fully red. They didn't really help. They keep changing it, putting new ones there, keep changing it. Later, what happened was they pretty much don't know what the bleeding was causing, and they said if this keeps going, you need to go into surgery to have it closed. So yeah, I'm like, yeah, do whatever you need to do to make it stop bleeding. And so then they also got a lot of people in there to check on it. I had so many people just checking on it, and blood everywhere. Every time I pee, I had to pee like 3 times in the Amsterdam hospital, and it was just fully blood. I never seen that much blood in my life. And the scary part is you're laying there and you know that all that blood is yours and it's just leaving your body, and there's nothing you can do. I mean, I'm not an expert in that. So there were times that I thought, I'm not gonna make it. I'm just gonna die here. I'm sorry to cry, sorry. But that's really how I felt back then. So then we had another two doctors. They were from the plastic surgery, which they were trying to help me there. Sorry if I'm crying, it's just really emotional, this story. So the plastic surgery, they did something. They had like a little injection, which had adrenaline in it, and also something that how do you say this? Cuts up the artery. They had like there was like kind of fluid of. Sorry, I'm talking Dutch. It's too emotional for me. Um, some kind of fluid was inside the needle, the injection, which makes the artery tighten, so it would stop bleeding. So they did that. I had to hold like a bag on it. They hold the bag for about 50 minutes. Then they said you have to hold the bag longer. So I hold it for 20 minutes. After that, we removed it to check if the bleeding would have stopped. The bleeding finally stopped, which was the best thing of my life for that moment. So, uh, so yeah, that was the story from that day. Then I had to stay in the hospital just to make sure that bleeding was fully stopped. All good and well. Okay, and then a few days go over, I'm back home, having the worst time of my life before. The next day I had the worst headache I've ever had in my life. I don't know why, maybe because of all the blood loss, but it was the worst. So I've been doing slowly things, and then you start to regain a little bit more strength again, and you just become sorry, it's been hard, but 2 days ago I've been just, you're getting stronger, you start to do more than you think you may be able to. It was late at night, we were about to go to bed, and I look inside my pants and it's fully red again. This time, however, we right away called the hospital in Amsterdam and said we were bleeding again. And this time I remember she held a lot of pressure on it, so that's what I right away did. I got the most paper I had and kept pushing so hard as I can. And I did that about half an hour, and we were on the phone with the hospital as well. She was like looking if everything was fine. And if it was, and then I removed the paper and it stopped bleeding. So that means that the hole this time was smaller than the last time, but I still have to take it really easy, because if I do too much, it's just going to reopen and it's going to bleed again. So the reason I got this surgery is because every time I was peeing, blood came out, but now I'm losing way more blood than before. So for now it looks so desperate, because I don't know whenever I'll be able to ride again. I mean, if you're bleeding this time, does that mean that you have to wait another 6 weeks, or does that mean that you have to hold those 4 weeks? Because in 4 weeks it would have been the 6 weeks since the surgery. So yeah. For now I'm just gonna wait until it's really strong again, and then we'll start slowly trying to ride my bike again, because that's the thing I miss the most. If I go on Instagram, I just get sad because I see all the people having so much fun on their bike, and I'm like sitting here playing games. I mean, I don't hate playing games, but I just rather be outside because it's such a beautiful day. And playing games is more for when it's raining for me. So anyway, sorry for the sad story, but that's pretty much what happened. And I'm gonna look through my GoPro footage and see if I have some more footage for that. This is actually the second. Sorry, I'm like I'm hurting my nose because it's leaking. Sorry, I'm not the cleanest lady, so you know. Yeah, I'm going through the GoPro footage, see if I actually can find some cool clips to put at the end, so that I at least have some writing. I actually ordered, while I was getting better, I ordered all my BMX parts. I'm waiting for the last shipment of parts. They are coming from Germany. Because the parts that I wanted, my shop doesn't have it. And I found a German shop, which I bought these wheels before from, and they came in pretty quickly. And they're really good. I have no problem with those. And it's a brand that you can't really buy in my country, so it's great that you can order in Germany because it's part of Europe. You can still get them. So yeah, second time I had an experience where I felt like I was going to die. Maybe I wasn't going to die. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but it definitely felt like it. One time I had before, I couldn't pee. That's why I had the surgery done, so it wouldn't happen again. It's getting locked up. Now it's like open and it's good. So yeah, the other time I had it before, I was like alone. I had nobody. I had big fights with my parents, with my family. We just weren't on good terms, and I was alone. I had a little apartment, and I was trying to pee in the morning, and it just wouldn't work. And my mind thinking, oh, I probably don't have to go, but it just feels like that. So I was like drinking more and more. I was drinking so much, and then like 12 o'clock or something, I couldn't pee. Still couldn't pee. It just feels like you're gonna pee, but then it like locks up. It pretty much meant that the pee was coming, but it was like locked, so it couldn't pass there. And then at night I was like, this is not normal. I'm having a lot of pain because my bladder is like blown up. I called the hospital back then, and they were like, I think you need to come here and we'll take a look at it. Okay, I'm like on the first bus there because I'm in a lot of pain. So it's like a 2-hour ride. So I went into the bus, then into the train. The train, halfway there, the pain was unbearable. I couldn't bear it anymore. A guy was sitting in the train, and he looked at me and just asked, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "No, hell no, I'm in so much pain." And then he was like, "All right, I'm gonna stop the train, and I'm gonna get someone." So he stopped the train, got a personnel. She looked at me and said, "Yep, we're not gonna keep riding." People in the train was kind of pissed because of that, but then the ambulance come and picked me up, and they gave me like they put like a bag with a tube inside, and then I could pee again. So, but that was I think that was the most painful moment of my life. It's weird, right? You think, how can needing to pee hurt that bad? Trust me, if you can't pee for a long time and you drink a lot, it's gonna hurt real bad. The second thing was the bleeding from 2 weeks ago. That was, it wasn't that painful, but it was like feeling helpless and think you're gonna die, which I also thought back then because I was like, man, my bladder is just gonna explode and I'm dead. So yeah, 2 times I experienced dying. And at a certain time you start to be like, all right, if this is gonna be it, so be it, right? You had a good life, and that's pretty much it. I didn't want to die, but if that's what happens, that's what happens. That's life. So yeah, another surgery done, and right now everything is stable. I haven't been bleeding for 2 days. I've been walking to the store, nothing is going on. It's great. I think I will recover this time perfectly, but yeah, we can only hope. So that's pretty much my story. I'm gonna look through the GoPro and see if I can put some more footage from before the surgery in this video, so it's not only me talking. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. And enjoy some riding, if there's still some riding to be left of the GoPro. Which is over here. The GoPro. I think there's something on there, but I just have to check. Alright. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. And pretty much over in 1 week or 2 weeks, I will start building the BMX bikes, the new bikes. But it will also be like a video for people who don't know how to build a BMX bike. And since I pretty much built my first BMX bike, which is downstairs, and it's still riding after 1 year, I think I pretty much can do it. So, so yeah, I'm just gonna do how to make a BMX bike from scratch. Well, pretty much just build up a BMX bike with parts you buy. So, a custom BMX bike. That's it. Okay. Anyway, have fun watching the rest of the video, and I'll see you all later. Have a great day. Bye. Hey everyone, welcome back to a new video. So the first thing will be this little gap to slope thing. So lighting is pretty bad, but it's a bad day. Anyway, I'm gonna do this gap to slope thing here. Alright, now bump jump to almost crooked it.